In this video, I'm going to show you a technique you can use that will allow you to capture high resolution images from your CAD drawings using Bluebeam Revu and then inserting those images into a PowerPoint slide like the one on the screen right now. So in an earlier video, I showed you how to set up for a 17 by 11 slide and add a border and a title block and some things like that to that. And so now I want to put some images in here. So to do that, the first thing I need to do is open up a CAD program and open a CAD file and print it as a PDF or export as a PDF. So I'm going to use Inventor. That's the software I'm going to use. I have an Inventor file here. It has multiple sheets. And you can see when I double click on a sheet over here that it has 4 different sheets. Actually it has 5 sheets, but I'm not going to use the last one. And this does not have to be Inventor. It could be, as I said, Revit or SolidWorks or AutoCAD or Civil 3D. But the important thing is once you have the file open, that you export the images as PDFs. So in Inventor, I can go to my file option over here and I can use export and export as PDF. Though sometimes what you're going to find when you do that is that it only exports a single sheet of a multi-sheet drawing when you do that. So a way around that is to, instead of using export to PDF, you might also try using print. And when the print dialog box opens up, for your printer, pick the Adobe PDF option. And what I'm going to do is I could print all sheets, or I could just pick the current sheet to print as a PDF, or I could pick the sheets in range. And in that case, I would say I want to print from sheet 1 to print to sheet 4, for example. The model space, the size of it, I'm going to print at a scale of 1 to 1. And the other thing I want to make sure, though, when I print this is that I'm printing to a 17 by 11 sheet. To do that, I have to pick on Properties and then pick the Paper Quality tab here and then go to Advanced. And I have an option here of all these different sheet sizes. And in this case, I'm going to choose 11 by 17 and pick the OK button, pick the OK button again, which brings me back to the dialog box for the printer. And then I want to do a preview. I want to see what everything looks like. So this is what the first sheet looks like, printed on a 17 by 11 sheet, and that looks good. So I'm going to go preview the next page and page 3 and page 4. They all look good to me, so I'm going to come and pick on my print button right here. And that brings me back to the dialog box one more time, and I pick OK. And I'm going to be prompted by Inventor to say, okay, where do you want to save this PDF and what do you want to name it? So I can come in here and give this a different name if I want to. I can call it Butterfly Valve Assembly Demo, DEMO, for example. And of course it's going to be a .pdf, and I pick Save. Now I do need to remember where I've located this, so I've got a folder I'm saving this into, and I'm going to pick Save. And in a second it creates that PDF. It even gave me a little bell there telling me that it was done. So the next thing I'm going to do is open Bluebeam Revu. So I pick on my Bluebeam Revu icon, and this is what it looks like when it opens. And remember that students can download a free copy of Bluebeam Revu. And this is important for you to do, or if you can't do that at home, just come up here to the computers at the college, and we have Bluebeam installed on all of the computers. So after you've finished printing your CAD file as a PDF, you will open Bluebeam Revu, and then you want to come over here to File and Open, and you want to navigate to the folder where you just saved the PDF. So here's that PDF, Butterfly Valve Assembly -demo, and pick Open. All right. Now, when Bluebeam Revu opens, if it's a multiple sheet PDF, if you look down here at the bottom, you have an arrow right here that says Next Page when you hover over it. If you pick on that arrow, you can advance through your sheets You know, there's sheet 4. If you want to go backward, you come over here to the arrow on the left, which takes you to the previous. All right, so I'm actually going to go to sheet 2, which is right here. And what I want to do is capture some images of this guy right here. And the first image I'm going to capture is actually of this plate. And I want to get this view and all the dimensions and that text right there without capturing anything else over here. So what Bluebeam Revu uses, the name of the tool when we capture something, is called to capture a snapshot. There are a couple of ways to get into the snapshot command. One is to go to Edit and then come down here and pick Snapshot. I'm going to escape out of that. Another way is just to type the letter G on your keyboard. And when you do that, you can watch what my cursor does. Watch how it changes when I type G. You see it shows me a little rectangular box. And so what I want to do is come to the left of these images here and above the word plate. And I'm going to pick, and then I'm going to hold down with my left pick button, and I'm going to move until I have a window that completely encloses all those images right there. And then I'm going to let go of my left click button. Now, I don't have to choose copy or anything. What happened automatically is that whatever is inside that window has been copied to the clipboard. And so the next thing I want to do is to come over here and pick on my PowerPoint icon. And so now I'm back in my PowerPoint slide. I can choose which slide I want to insert this into. So I'm on slide 2 right here. I'm going to move over here into the field of this and right click. And I have the option to paste that. The second option is to paste it as a picture. And that's really how I want to paste this as a picture. So I'm just going to pick right there. So my image goes in, and it goes in at a very good resolution, which is one of the advantages of using Bluebeam Revu, and can actually expand on that. Now, one of the things that I want to show you about with PowerPoint is that you can make sure that you're getting the best quality resolution by going over here and picking on File. And when this opens up, come down here to Options, and then go to Advanced Options. Then look right here where it says Image Size and Quality, and we want to pick this button that says Do Not Compress Images in File, and it says Set the Default Target Output to, and if you pick on this down arrow, you can set this as high as 330 dots per inch, and then you can close that down. So now you know that you have PowerPoint set to show the highest resolution that it can. All right, so there's my image that I just placed. If I right click and I paste again, because that image was what was on the clipboard, it will go in again. And of course, I usually don't need 2 images of the same thing, so I'm going to delete that. Now, I also want to show you something else about this. When I move the image over, you can see that it overlaps my text box. It could also overlap my border. So let's say that your image comes in and it's overlapping something. All you need to do is right click on the image and choose Send to Back, or just Send Backwards, which just sends it behind whatever the thing that's in front of it. So there you go. You can see that it's been sent back right there. You can still move that around, but I want to show you about sizing images. When you pick on an image, you'll see these grips that you get around the sides and in the corners. To size the image, always stretch from the corner, all right? And you can stretch from, this corner here. And because the image overlaps, but it's behind the text box, it doesn't cover up the corner of the text box. What you don't want to do when you're changing the size of an image is grab it on the sides or on the top, and I'll show you why. If you try to size it this way, look what happens. It actually condenses or expands, stretches or contracts. And the same thing can happen up here. You can do that. And so pretty soon your image does not look like it should look. Instead of being the oval shape that we wanted, we've got this weird oval shape. And one of the things you can tell a lot of times when you put an image in that has a circle in it, and then when I see it, if that circle does not look like a circle, then I know you've compressed the image size. So you don't want to do that. So I'm just going to delete that guy out because I've compressed it. I'm going to right click and paste because that image was still on the clipboard. So that's the aspect ratio that it should be. And so again, stretch from the corners. Now also I can right click on this and pick send to back. That way if I move it over here, I know it's going to go behind my text box. All right. Let's see what else we can do with that image. Oh, the other thing you can do with these images is you can right click on them once they're selected and you can choose save as picture. And so what happens is you're able to go identify a folder and give this image a name. Now it comes in as a PNG, right? And if you pick on the down arrow below that, you have the option of saving it as a JPEG or TIFF or something like that. JPEG is a good format for saving these, and you could call that, plate image, for example. I think I already have one of those, so I'm going to call this one plate image 2. And .jpg, may have 2 dots in there now. No, it doesn't look like I do. And just pick save. All right. Now, if I wanted to insert that drawing file from that folder, you can do that by going to insert, and let's see, there is an image, place image somewhere, picture, all right. And then I would go to find my Google Drive, my drive 1491 and summer 2022. That's where I have these located at. And should be inside here. I don't know where I'm missing that, but anyway, you can, once you find where that image went in, oh, that's summer 20. Let me go back to here. Sorry about this. I don't know where that guy got saved, but anyway, by inserting a picture file, you should be able to put in any JPEG or PNG or anything that you want to do. Now, I'm going to go back to review and show you something else that you could do. Review is staying in this snapshot mode. And so remember, one way to get in the snapshot mode is just to type the letter G, and that will put you in. So let's say that you want to capture an entire sheet. Well, you would want to put that all inside your capture window. So it's just captured all that. And so if I go back to PowerPoint, we pick on a different sheet, like let's pick sheet 3. I can pick right click and paste, and the entire image goes in. Now it goes in large, so I can drag that down and I could try to fit that in. But sometimes what happens when you try to show the drawing border in addition to the border of the slide, you have to make the slide a lot smaller so it all fits on the sheet. So I want to show you an option that you can do with an Inventor image. So when you pick on the image like that, you can go up here to Format, and you have a crop button right here, and you can pick on crop. And when you do that, you'll see these heavy black sort of shapes that you get on the corners, these little rectangles. But if you drag that up, and then you drag, let's say the one on the left side all the way over to here, and you drag this guy down, and you drag this guy in like that, and then you pick out here, what that does is that allows you to put in an image that you can crop the entire thing just to the size that you want. Now you have to remember, if I pick right here and I right click and paste, that what's on the clipboard is that entire image again. So I can have that entire image if I want in my drawing, right? What I'll have to watch out for is how that image is covering up my text box right up here. So I would pick on that and right click and send it to back, and that would put it behind that. But that's just one of the things I wanted to show you is how to use crop. So remember, crop is under Format, and come over here and choose your crop tool, and you can Let me get to my crop tool. Let me use this one right here and slide this over like that. Slide this down. Bring this guy up. And bring this in. And then pick outside of the box. And so there I have that. Now, I do have this piece of text up in here that either I would have to cover up with or try to crop it. That's the problem with these rectangular crops. If there's something that you don't want to show, you have to either hide it behind something, and that's not too hard to do. You can come up here to Home, and you can choose a rectangle, and you can, oh, looks like I didn't get a rectangle, but it doesn't have to be a rectangle. And pick on this guy and delete this out. So go to Home, pick Rectangle, and draw a rectangle like that. Now, obviously, I don't want a blue box on here, but if I right click and I go to Format Shape, I can choose No Fill, or I can choose a solid fill that's white instead of blue, and I can choose No Line, and then pick in here. And so that box is still there, that rectangle is still there, but it is in front of the area that I want to block off. Now, let me show you something about this too. If you have multiple images in here, so let's say that I pick on that, and then I hold down my Shift or Control button and I pick this, now I have my image and I have the box both selected. I can right click my mouse and I can go to Group, and I can pick Group. And what that does is now that will act like one image. And so it takes the image itself and it takes that box that I have right there and combines them into one. If I want to ungroup them, I just pick, right click, and choose Ungroup. And then that changes them back to where they're separate pieces again. All right, I hope that's helpful and get you started on creating your portfolio.